Hey guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. I just wanted to do a video this morning discussing the notion of, and again, I'm looking at my notes, you're only as pretty as you treat people. I want to really share my thoughts about that particular quote. I actually saw it on a meme not too long ago, and I think it's definitely a conversation worth having. And this kind of ties into the video I did not too long ago about why it pays to not be so superficial. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Beauty itself is in the eye of the beholder, right? I really think it goes to say that when it comes to what one defines as beauty, it varies from individual to individual. So some may look at it on the surface level, which could explain a lot in terms of why people tend to want to go and have things altered in terms of their own physical appearance, whether it may be in the facial area, overall in the body, you name it. So much stuff that's being done nowadays to even recount at this point. But then there's some who honestly feel that it's a lot deeper than just what you see in the physical form, more so on a spiritual level. I think at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's all about what makes one happy, what makes an individual truly happy. And that's truly what matters. Now, the reality of it all, even when it comes to the physical side of things, just like the physical beauty could fade, as we progress onward and we become older, one's spiritual side in terms of how they feel or how they treat others can also fade too. So it's kind of like I guess you could say like a catch-22 in some ways. It can happen on either side when you think about it. But the reality of it all is, one has to be strong enough, 144 as I'm saying this, to know how to maintain it. For instance, something can be said about in terms of beauty. There's so many different resources online in terms of how you can maintain your ideal thought of beauty when it comes to you as an individual. Same can be said in terms of spirituality, finding ways where you don't lose sight of what you're meant to be here for, but at the same time don't lose sight in terms of having a good, genuine heart when it comes to treating others with with the sense of care, with the sense of positivity. It's kind of like that old saying, treat people the way you want to be treated. I know for me, oftentimes, 2, 3, 4 as I'm saying this, I think about, whether it's something as simple as opening a door or if it's something as simple as acknowledging a person when they come in, when you first see them. Or maybe just simply giving them a nice grin or saying hi as you pass them by on the sidewalk. I always think of it like, how would I want to be addressed? I guess for those who like to quote the Bible, I think there's a scripture in there where it says, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So with that being said, it's not really a difficult equation to figure it out when it comes to living this thing called life. In order to reap the benefits of it, you have to be able to do the work and do so in a way where it's a pleasant experience for everyone. I know for me, I was one that always was so drawn to, thinking about image. It started early on in my high school years, when you feel that peer pressure and being a certain size and things of that nature. Not realizing that years later I was going to be able to, take on this task, if you will, in terms of maintaining my own weight, my own physique, and do so in a way that's very pleasing to me. And just realizing that, if a person truly wants you, they're going to want you for you, 44 as I'm saying this, not just for one thing. They're going to want all of you. So Again, I guess the reality in all of this, 55 as I'm saying this, is that it's truly all about perception. But at the end of the day, one thing I came to discover even on my quest in terms of getting through my day-to-day was one must love to truly love themselves first and foremost, before anything else. Because you are the one that is maintaining this vessel. You are the one that has to see it in all its glory every day, covered and uncovered. And you are the one that has to live with it from beginning to end. So embrace it and just enjoy it. And everything else, I honestly do feel will fall into place, and whatever God has for you, or whoever God has for you, will be for you. It will meet you. Trust that. You know, this type of conversation I'm having right now, thinking back to my younger years, I wish, it's kind of like that saying, if you could have a conversation with the younger you, what would it be? That would be it. As many teens, especially teen girls, tend to experience, you go through that whole phase of wanting to not eat and do other things if you happen to eat, don't want to go into talk about it too much, but yeah, thinking back, I was one of those people, as far as cutting back on the amount of food I ate during the day, if any, working out heavily, lost extremely a lot of weight, but I became very weak. All just because of image, all because of what I was seeing in the magazines. I can think back to looking at J14 magazine, or looking at soap operas. Like, I don't know if some of you guys remember that soap opera called Passions that was on NBC, or Days of Our Lives. Looking at that stuff and thinking like, wow, I want to be like that girl. I want to be her size. Or I can even think back to when I was looking at the earlier years of Destiny's Child, like seeing how small some of the women were, like Kelly or Beyonce, and thinking like, oh, I would be that size. And I ended up getting smaller than them. It's just so crazy thinking about that. It's like, wow. But that was what I looked up to. I saw it and I was like, okay, I need to do this, and make it happen. Oh my gosh. So misled. I mean, at one point, honestly said, I would think I was pretty miserable at that particular time. As a time progressed onward, 2, 3, 4, as I'm saying this, I was miserable, because at the same time, it was an emotional roller coaster. Like, I was happy with the results I was seeing, but I was hurting on the inside, because I'm just thinking like, why can't I just be happy with what I have? But again, it's kind of like that saying, you live and you learn. So for me, it was one of those things that as time progressed onward, I started realizing like, wow, you don't have to try to pretend or try to, try to align your image with the image of what you see on television, because a lot of what you see on television is not real to begin with. But at the same time, I began to understand that, in order for one to truly be happy, 3, 2, 1, as I'm saying this, you have to learn to be happy with self first. You have to learn to be happy with self first. 3, 3, 3. I do have to say this also. I am really loving the fact that nowadays that a lot of women are starting to wake up to this realization. You're starting to see a decline where some of the women are now taking a step back in terms of removing a lot of this Botox, body enhancements. I think it was that one celebrity. I don't know if it was Kim. I think Kim Kardashian. I think Black China. Yeah, Black China. Yeah, it was her. I'm not sure Kim did either, but I know there's quite a few of them that are in the mainstream that are starting to take that stance, which, again, is good for them. I know it's going to probably be a little jolting when you first go through that experience, that encounter, and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have it anymore, now what? But it'll grow on you. It really will. At least I would only imagine. Because I for one, never went to that extreme. Never really felt that I need to go to that extreme. 111 as I'm saying this. In terms of having those enhancements, I don't knock anyone who does. Because again, it really does fall on what truly makes you happy. So if it does, as the saying goes, 1, 2, 3 as I'm saying this, do you, okay? But I can only just share my 2 cents in terms of my own experience, and in hopes that someone or others would give it some thought and just say, you know what, maybe she has a point. Maybe I need to truly focus on being happy with self first before anything else, and just trust that whatever is meant for me in terms of, you know, my dreams, and in terms of, you know, who I plan to be with as far as the love of my life, just trust that God is going to allow me to meet them halfway somewhere when the time is right. So the point I was trying to make in terms of that also is just that I would just hope that more women are going to start to jump on the bandwagon with it and just really start to love self, embrace self, and understand that, you know, we were all made perfectly imperfect. And again, it's all about perception, right? 222 as I'm saying this. But it's a beautiful thing. That's what makes us all unique. That's what makes us all special. Embrace that shit. But yeah, that's all I want to say in this video. I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. You know, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. How do you feel about that, with the idea of you're only as pretty as you treat people? I think that says a lot, because I mean, it's a humbling statement too, because, and it should be viewed as a humbling statement, because for one, when it comes to image, that can only go just so far. The big piece in all of this is, what does your spirit say about you? What's within? What does that say? I think that, in fact, is what I would consider to be the trump card in this situation. It's something to really sit back and reflect on, or as I said in one of my other videos, sit back and chew on. So, oh, and of course, as always, I am open for consultations. I see that it did get a few more that popped in as of this morning. I did check. So definitely keep those coming if you are interested. Again, if you have any issues with posting to the calendar, just send me a quick email. All that is in the description box below. Or you can just send me a message over on one of the other platforms. But yeah, until next time, definitely, I'm sending you guys love and light, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.